folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today, welcome to Look Back, where I'm going to go back a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago and tell you what I think about the games I reviewed then. Except, no 5 years ago. I guess I was at Essen during this week. I'm not sure. Let's go with last year, though. First of all, we have Seafall. Seafall is just one of those games. You know, it's a great, grandiose game. Easily my most anticipated game of the year. But there's just so much involved with this game, this legacy game, and it just didn't fulfill the promise. The game is okay, but as time went by, it became burdensome to play. The story wasn't as strong. It especially pales compared to all the other legacy games, including Pandemic Legacy Season 2, Charterstone, all these other games where either the game is better or the legacy story is better. Seafall never really managed to put its head above water in that regard. Last Friday, another game I really wanted to enjoy, where you were essentially playing Friday the 13th, or people running around in a camp, running from a crazed murderer. It's kind of or sometimes they're chasing the murderer, sometimes the murderer's chasing them. A lot of good concepts, but ultimately, the whole board didn't get used. It didn't have the tension that I thought it should have. It was, at best. Scuba. This is a game where you would dive down in the water looking for different fish and finding those fish and getting points that way. It's a really pretty game, but it just didn't do it for me. It was just too lucky, too random. So, unfortunately, it looked nice though. Kalidos, this is one of those games where you're writing things down and looking at pictures and a whole lot of different pictures on the board at one time. A fun party game. Four Gods. This is a very unique game in which it's kind of like Carcassonne, but you're all at the same time, simultaneously building this thing up. So you're like, here's a tile. Where does this tile fit? I found the tile here. Every once in a while, you can place out a worker. If you like that sort of thing, you will like the game. So if you think Speed Carcassonne sounds fun, this is for you. For everyone else, it's probably a pass. But it is interesting, and I did enjoy it. Then we have Hop. Now, Hop is an absolute gorgeous game. I mean, at Essen, people come by and like, wow, look at this beautiful game set up here. It's this big game, but it's essentially just throwing things, and you do it in funny and unique ways. Box is probably too big. It's probably overproduced. I should say probably. Those things I think are both true. But still, it's fun for kids. It's just that realize that you're going to pay a lot for that. Maybe not nowadays. Then we have Not Alone. Not Alone is basically a game of hide and seek, where one person is the alien, everyone else has landed on this planet, and they find out this alien is coming to get them. So they're hiding from the alien's trying to figure out where they are. A scary game of hide and seek, I guess, but simple, fun, not alone. La Granja No Siesta, this is a dice game in which you are, it's what we call a roll and write game, where you roll these dice. People are drafting the dice and filling in different squares in their sheets. It's not really like La Granja, that's fine, but I think it's actually very nicely done. I like the different options that you have of filling things in, which give you special abilities. It's a more straightforward roll and write game, but it is good. This is a game from Reiner Knizia. It is a kids game in which you are trying to put tiles down and match different things and cover the board and get the right amounts of food for the mice. It's cooperative, it's tricky, it's puzzly, but not too hard. It's one that kids could defeat together, and I like it for that reason. Star Wars Destiny. Star Wars Destiny is the dice game that's extremely popular, still going out, but you'll notice I dropped the rating slightly on it. I think it's just because the collectability part isn't really doing it for me in this game. I like the concept of it, but it's not that fantastic of a game. It's decent, it's good, but there's a lot of luck for me in the game with rolling the dice and what cards you get, and also the level of, ooh, I have all these rares and I can do better than other people. I don't know. So it's kind of dropped a little bit for me, but I think a lot of people are still going to like it. Now Blood Bowl, the newest version of Blood Bowl. I don't even think it has a version anymore. This is Blood Bowl 2016. So I never played Blood Bowl before. Played it. It was fun. It wasn't like amazing, but it was fun. It's basically just go around and punch other people, and the football's there, and you throw the football around a little bit. So it's a game like a football where you're killing each other. That's okay, and I think it'd be more fun if you played it over a season, and I never did play with the other teams, so maybe that would make it better, but the whole concept certainly is interesting. That's Blood Bowl. And Terra. Terra is a really unique style game, which you're placing tiles and basically, I mean, it's a gorgeous looking game. I found this game at a booth that was near our booth last year, and just as you're putting these like connections all to each other and through ropes, it just had this neat idea of basically a big knot down. I just liked how it looked. It's an abstract game, but it worked well. Nothing 5 years ago. 10 years ago, though, we'll start with China Rails. This is a crayon rail game where you connect things with a crayon on a board. You can erase them. The crayon rail games are good. China Rails was okay. I don't play the crayon rail games as much these days anyway, but when I do play them, I probably like Russian Railroads or Lunar Rails, or I think I like those the best. This one was in the middle of the pack, I think. Hit or Miss, this is basically a party game in which you ask a question and then people are going to guess if you got the correction right or wrong. Nah, that's okay. What I just told you is basically the whole game. StarCraft, 10 years ago, huh? StarCraft, I still remember playing this one. I was in Korea at the time. I played it with Jeff Engelstein for the first time, and he described it as a knife fight in a phone booth, which I still think is accurate. It was kind of a letdown for some people because it wasn't like the video game. It was more of an overarching picture of the universe, but it did work well. In fact, it spawned other games as time went by, and some people claim it's the first deck builder. Not really convinced on that, but there was elements of customizing your deck of cards that had, you know, and building up units and stuff. There's a lot of cool ideas to this game. I don't think it's aged as well, and also it's impossible to find, but StarCraft. Then 10 Days in Asia. Was this the last 10 Days game? Maybe 10 Days in Europe was, but the 10 Days series from Out of the Box Games, Alan Moon and Aaron Weisboom, is a great series of games. It's basically kind of like you're putting all these cards in front of you, and you're trying to move them around to get them in the right order, like Racco, but you're following a map, so the countries need to be next to each other, or you can use a train line. That's what Asia added. Asia is one of the best of the lot. I really did enjoy these games, and I hope someone brings them back, because they're not only fun, but they're also educational. So that's the 10 Days in Asia. Anyway, those are the games that I reviewed a year and 10 years ago. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Look Back on the Dice Tower.